So we brought you our Mahindra Marazzo review already a few weeks ago, and now it's time for the shark to attack its competition. Now, disclaimer right at the top of the story, apples and oranges here with these two because of course the Innova is bigger, price-wise as well. It sits in its completely own segment, and the Marazzo is closer to the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga when it comes to positioning, or the Renault Logi. Now the Ertiga, there's a new generation coming just in a month's time, and so it's really futile trying to do that comparison, which is why you can't help it. Apples and oranges, but still, this is the segment benchmark. Any newbie has to take it on. Toyota's cabins are always good on quality but a bit cheesy on palette and equipment. On the Innova Crysta, it's no different, though the dash layout and touch screen at the high end does help it seem less van-like. Step inside and the Marazzo will surprise you with its space. Its cabin is fresh, light and an absolute revelation on its plastics and fit. Seat comfort on the Innova has always been good, but the Marazzo seats manage to give you great support and posture despite having less bolstering. So I got King Shook to drive so that I could get in the back and check out the back seat. You can slide the seats back, plenty of space in the second row. Sunblind, well, that's something the Innova certainly doesn't have, and it also doesn't have this. The AC vents running along the spine up here is certainly different. In fact, Mahindra wants to patent this system because nobody's done it. They call it surround cool technology, but basically what it does is it gives you vents along this central section of the roof. It helps cool the cabin better, says Mahindra, and so far I'm not complaining. It's nice and cool back here. When you put it really high, yeah, it gets a little noisy, but then that's true of pretty much every roof-mounted system on pretty much every MPV. So no points on that one being docked. However, you do have this little flick. You can go from direct to diffused. So you want that nice blast of air, or you want it to just kind of permeate the cabin. I think that's the part where Mahindra has played it smart, and so yeah, that's a good feature to have for sure. Under thigh support could have been a lot better. The seat could have been a little plumper. That's where the Innova does score. The car also gets a 7-inch touchscreen with connectivity, nav, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but that's only in the top two variants. The second from below M4 variant gets a 4.2-inch screen with Bluetooth, while the base M2 gets neither. The Crysta's top two variants also have a touchscreen, but only with Bluetooth connectivity and nav. But it does have a start-stop button that the Marazzo does not. Both cars get steering-mounted controls. The Mahindra Marazzo has an all-new drivetrain, a world first according to the company for its transverse front-wheel drive layout. The 1.5-litre engine makes 120 bhp and gives you 300 Nm of torque. It is very refined, has very linear power delivery and is surprisingly silent. And the one word you never really associated with any Mahindra vehicle was smooth, and I think that's the thing that really shines through on the Marazzo. In many ways, it's more comfortable and it has a more satisfying ride quality because it doesn't sort of lumber about like the Innova does. And while the Innova is of course very comfortable, the good part is that the Marazzo doesn't disappoint on that front at all. The Innova Crysta has a more powerful 2.4 or 2.8-litre diesel, but also has huge trump cards over the Marazzo. There is also a 2.7-litre petrol engine option, and both fuel types are offered with the choice of a manual or a 6-speed automatic transmission. I kind of like the steering position and the overall driving posture on the Marazzo a little bit more than this. You got to kind of reach for everything on the Innova, but even though I did call it a lumbering giant, I have to say that it's very comfortable. I mean, the ride quality on this car, the overall supple, smooth, soft feel that you get, there is really nothing else that compares. But on the downside, you do have slightly clunky feel. It's all nicely put together, but it has a slightly old style feel. The Marazzo feels a little more modern. The plastics are also kind of nice on the Marazzo. Electric seat does help. So Yes, this feels a little more high-end, and of course, the big USP on the Innova, the fact that you have an automatic option on both fuel types. I think that, to me, becomes one of the reasons why a lot of personal or individual buyers, families, would still opt for the Innova despite the high price tag. Mahindra says it's working on both petrol and also an automatic, but these will only get here by 2020. An AMT diesel is likely next year though. The Marazzo's clean and simple, light and quick performance will surprise anyone expecting a typical Mahindra. The Innova will feel bulky and its diesel engines suffer from more lag, giving the Marazzo a bit of an edge. Neither car is very fast from standstill, but the Innova will build speed quicker thanks to its bigger and more powerful engines. The ride quality and handling are also a revelation. While ride comfort on the Innova will remain its benchmark, the Marazzo does very well to maneuver more easily while maintaining its composure on bad roads and in tight traffic. Its light clutch will also help cut fatigue on long drives. The engine could have been a little more powerful, but then this isn't trying to be a performance car. It's a little bit noisy too, I have to say, with a little bit of a sort of a wheezy nature. But overall, I still have to think that the NVH levels are so much lower now on this car. And in fact, even on the gear stick, no vibration whatsoever. So nice to see that. Mileage claims on the Shark stand at 17.3 kilometers per litre, while on the manual diesel Innova, it's 15.1 kilometers per litre. And finally, the looks on both. Neither car is pretty, and in fact Mahindra had a good chance here to go with a very desirable looking car, a chance squandered away. Still, the material quality, fit, shut lines and overall finish on the Marazzo make it rather attractive overall. The Crysta is nicer looking than the previous Innova and does have a nice butch face, but that's it. Looks are subjective, but if I have to pick one, I have to go with the no-fuss, bold and SUV-like design on the Innova Crysta, especially in its Touring Sport Edition in Wildfire Red. The top spec of the Innova gets 7 airbags. Dual airbags and a driver knee airbag are standard, as is ABS. The Marazzo gives you dual airbags and ABS and disc brakes all round. ISOFIX child seat anchors are also standard. And that's the last area to really compare, because now we have to get onto the prices. While the petrol Innova Crysta starts at 14,65,000 rupees and tops off at 20,70,000, the diesel sits in a range of 15,77,000 to 22,01,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi. The Touring Sport goes from 18,59,000 to 23,06,000 rupees across 2 variants each on both fuel types. By comparison, the more compact Marazzo is priced between 9,99,000 and 13,90,000 rupees. Way more attractive prices for sure, with the caveat I made at the start about this being a slightly smaller car. So which one is better? Well, comparing apples and sharks is probably not the smartest thing. So it was never a like comparison, as I stated right at the start, but having said that, given the price positioning, the Marazzo certainly becomes very attractive. Yes, it's not quite the same animal as the Innova, and there are certain things that you would find still being a huge advantage on the Toyota Innova, but given the value proposition and also throwing in the fact that it's a much more refined, really credible product which drives well and is comfortable, the Marazzo takes it.